Grand Theft Auto V is one heck of a game, gamers. It came out way back in 2013 when Sons of Anarchy was still airing and when Identity Theft was showing us a lot more of Cameron Tucker's ass than I ever expected to see. It's Grand Theft Auto V, though. It's one of the absolute video games of all time. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about today because I've been able to squeeze some entertainment out of this game for a long time. I can remember vividly walking into a GameStop in 2013, being 17 years old, ready to graduate high school. And I walked in that thing and I bought me a copy of Grand Theft Auto, and me and my cousins, we spent an entire weekend ignoring the extracurricular things we were addicted to and just playing some Grand Theft Auto, running amok in the streets of Los Santos. So if you like a cold drink on a hot day, come chill with me for a little bit while I talk about The Last Dose. We start the first mission off right. We go and buy about $1.3 million worth of vehicle. That's right, one vehicle. We buy ourselves the Eudora. And we go ahead and we make it monochrome because that's a cool color scheme. And then what do we do next? We go and take it to Benny's because we're going to make it a lowrider. And what do you know? Benny's won't let us go low. What the heck? You think he would? It fits the part. But it drives smooth like Sunday morning. So we go ahead and head on over to the Freak Shop to meet up with Dax and Labrat. And Labrat and Dax are both in the Freak Shop. And Labrat's kind of doing this pineapple balancing act type thing. I don't get what's up with that. And neither does Dax, because he's very upset about it. He actually grabs an RPG, and he's like, "This is what's best for you." And he shoots that RPG right at Labrat, looking out for his safety and all, but Labrat ducks, and it's just in time, too, for him to get kidnapped by a bunch of dudes that look awfully creepy. That's all I'm gonna call them, is creepy. And they take him in an SUV, and as they're doing this, Dax, you, and Luchadore notice. The whole reason no one notices this in the first place, though, is because Luchadore and Dax is just busy having an argument about firing an RPG off in the freaking Freak Shop, and I don't get what Luchadore's problem is. I don't know how many. I mean, it's just freaking daily that I'm like shooting off an RPG just for no reason indoors, and nothing bad happens to me. She needs to slow her roll. As they're taking Labrat, they leave behind a whole bunch of other dudes just ready to take us on out. And that turns into a great shooting gallery of us just going in a big circle around the Freak Shop. And as we're done with the Freak Shop, Dax just kind of goes with his dead eyes, and he's just like, "I can't believe they took Labrat. We've got work to do." Kind of weird. But the mission ends, and you get paid a good, clean $24,800 for being there. We start off the second mission, and I gotta say, it's just a lot more good old-fashioned GTA Online content. What I mean by that? Well, Dax is damn determined to go and find the kidnappers of Labrat. Apparently, he's important to him, being his personal physician and all. So we go around the city of Los Santos looking for some hippies. First of all, we find these hippies, and they're knowing nothing. They don't know anything. Somehow or another, we go to the Lost. And I always hate having to hurt the Lost. Really, to be honest with you guys, it hurts my soul to have to hurt the Lost. I mean, they've done dirty between GTA 4 and GTA 5. And all I gotta say is every time I take one of them out, it takes out a piece of my soul. But that being said, I beat them all up, killed most of them to be honest, and we found out that they didn't know anything either. They had nothing to do with us, and the hippies were lying. So we got back to the hippies. We find out what's really going on, and all they know is that somebody from Elysian Island in a warehouse sent us. So we go to Elysian Island, and I hate searching for the thing. It just makes us search for it. We just have to keep searching. Like, we just search and search, and finally Dax throws us a bone. He calls us and he's like,
By-4s they rolled up in at the freak shop? Maybe look for one of those.
yeah, that's easier. We find the black SUV that's outside and we go in there and I about run right out of Los Santos straight back to Liberty City because Walker Texas Ranger is owning this building. And what do you mean? How do I know that? Because it says Walker right there on the side. If you don't know who Walker Texas Ranger is, it's Chuck Buckley Norris. Someone to be very afraid of. I figured I was overreacting a lot, and I was right. The game has you search the garage while avoiding detection. In photos of clues, it's here we discover that they're keeping Lagrat in Dr. Friedlander's office or lab or whatever. This ends the mission and grants you $30,000 after you leave Ellison Island. So I was going to start talking about the third mission, but we're going to stop everything we're doing right now, and it's very important that we stop everything we're doing unless we want to get shot up, because we got to go get body armor from Ammunition or our agency. Now, what are they doing over there at Rockstar? They're a bunch of silly bastards, I'll tell you. It's been 10 years, you can buy ammo, you can do all sorts of things from the interactive menu, and you can't buy body armor from the interactive menu. I'm telling you, they're a bunch of silly bastards. And I wouldn't have them developing a photo. But I'm getting off track here. Let's just get back to the mission. Well, yeah, let's just get back to the mission. I was gonna just say how Dax is a big dumb dummy. I was gonna say how much I don't like him. I was gonna say how he eats his cereal with no milk. I was gonna say how he drinks his Kool-Aid with no sugar. I was gonna say how much I'm gonna tell you guys about how we got in the driving to Dr. Friedlander's office, and we had to go there to try and find Lab Rat. And we fight our way up before I think we go back down. And I'm telling you, I had way too much fun in the offices with the glass panels, because I would just jump right through them, breaking the glass, playing Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme music in my head. I mean, other than that, I really don't like this lap design, honestly. Every guy, they're just like in such a position that they shoot me whenever I get around the corner. And I know that sounds dumb, but like there's just no good way to get into cover before they get a chance to like blow you away like they were a $75 trip to Babadi's palace. That it was weird. I just didn't like it very much. But that really wasn't that bad. We made our way down to the basement, and in the basement, we were about to release Lab Rat in the lab. Lab Rat was sitting in the lab. The lab that Lab Rat was in had him there, and we were getting ready to cut him free when all of a sudden Dr. Friedlander from the Grand Theft Auto 5 story pops in looking like a Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 25 looking ridiculous coming down that elevator, and he's ready to drop some knowledge on us with his little boombox that gives me a perfect idea for a thumbnail. And my first interaction with Doc really did have me giggling, but it also had me thinking maybe we would see him in Grand Theft Auto 6 based off of some of the things that he said.
Oh, look at him! Come to South America! We'll be rich!
That is if we do not kill him. And I know we do not hear, at least, because a jarring gunfight ensues where everything just goes all black and white and all crazy and everything, and the next thing you know, Friedlander has escaped, and I'm loving all the wrestling references in here. In that gunfight, Luchador smacks some dudes with a chair. But then after that, we have to take Lab Rat from the lab back to the freak shop, and that mission ends up paying you a good $27,090. The start of the fourth mission, right, and it begins with you following Dax in his RV. But just before, what I mean by starting it off right, I wanted to change into my biker gimmick, and really, I can't help and exemplify it other than to...
Alright, are you ready to go get this Friedlander ass? We found out he's keeping Lab Rat in one of the labs, believe it or not. So we're gonna do like 30 doses of acid and go get this guy. Yeah, we are. Oh yeah, we're gonna do like 30 doses of acid. What? What is fresh meat doing?
Then caught up with Dax in his RV, and it was going so slow, I ended up passing the thing, and I ended up going over to Freelander's mansion. We figured out where it was, by the way, and I met up there with Luchadore, who was ready to kick some butt. And kick butt we did. We were shooting things up. We were heading into the mansion when we got blasted with a bunch of hallucinogenics that really made things take a different frame. I played and watched footage of this part several times, and the jerking mechanics really aren't so bad. Like, they're supposed to be not so good, you know. But the part I hate is the whole, like, capital letters all over the place. It kind of is funny in a meme or whatever, but don't put it in my game. Don't put it on my 10-year-old game that I paid $60 for in 2013. I paid too much to be hearing that stuff. Just I don't know. I feel like the psychedelic thing, they're going way too hard for the college kids that are on drugs thing, and I don't know if they would even appreciate that. But you get through the trip, and the mission ends once you get through the trip, and it's really abrupt like that. But it pays you $27,090, so not bad. And although I totally planned on doing the entirety of the last dose in one day, I didn't. I just didn't. It turned out to be a good thing, though. The next day, I came in to play the game. My lady notices I'm going to the casino. She wants to spin the wheel to make the deal, and indeed, she made a deal on that wheel. It spun round and round and won me an Infernus. Classic. I didn't have the heart to tell her that I had already had an Infernus Classic, though. I just kinda hid it in a different garage, and we painted it yellow and customized it. Yellow's our favorite color, and we were on our way. It was time to go get Freelander. His days are numbered. We know that he's on a plane, and that plane, it's not just gonna go down. We're gonna hijack that plane, and we're gonna land it at Sandy Shores, because there's a bunch of psychedelics on it that Dax wants, and I kinda want too. You start off by flying this other little plane to get up to the big plane, and let me tell you, I hated the speed of that little plane. It was so slow. It was slower than the opening of Red Dead Redemption 2, Chapter 1. It was slower than molasses. It was just so slow until you got up to the plane, and then I smacked the bottom of the plane so hard and blew the backside out. Somebody pooping thought they had blown their ass out to this really cool shooting section on the plane. I mean, it looks familiar if you know what I mean, but it was a good little section. We shoot our way. The pilots are nowhere to be seen. For some reason, Luchadore forgets that she is got up here with a pilot because she asked me, "Hey, can you fly this thing?" I'm just like, anyway, we turn around, and at that time, we see that Dr. Friedlander had been hiding in a crate with his pillow and his blankie. And he decides to DB Cooper out of there. And we're like, okay, whatever. We got all the psychedelics. That's all we want. We actually don't hop down out of the plane. We land that plane in Sandy Shores. Yes, we do. We land it. And the second half of this mission does not go as well as the other parts of this content. It actually brought me my first death. I can't be too mad about it because I was the one firing RPGs like a wild man. But you can just tell that the mission would be a heck of a lot easier with two people, or just three people, or however many people you want to bring along. It's built for co-op. Second time isn't as bad though. I continue to blow everything up in my path, and they eventually want us to just run back to the freak shop. And running back to the freak shop, it means that you're driving this slow truck. Anyone that's done like a delivery mission knows what this is like. It's awful. It's like getting poked by like 10 different people with all 10 of their fingers every 10 seconds for 10 minutes straight. It's like it's so slow driving, and it's so agonizing getting just poked at by these cops. It's like someone took a spoon out of their pocket and they just hit you over and over again. It doesn't hurt. it's just annoying, but they just do it over and over again, and it drives you insane to worry about, is this actually bad for me? Am I gonna make it through this? And the spoon breaks, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, the spoon breaks, I've got a small second, and then he pulls out another spoon. Then when I'm just ready to check a controller, we pull into the freak shop, and we end the mission, getting all the psychedelics, I guess stopping Dr. Friedlander, and getting a really cool electric car that used to be the former doctor's. And I gotta tell you, I customized it purple, and you'll probably... I just really wanted to talk about GTA Online's The Last Dose. Rockstar's latest prescribed pill of medicated madness was whack, it was wild at times, and in some instances it was just pure GTA. Whether that was the fun of cover shooting and booming through some hallways with some silly bastards, or it was getting turned into Swiss cheese by the LSPD making me lose my sanity, then I just gotta say it was a pretty good time. Although I soloed this content, I will say, most of my friends that play GTA Online now, they only want to play sumo, and sumo's about as much fun as slamming your head up against the wall until it sticks. And that's just not something I want to do. I did this content as somebody with $10 million in the bank and not a lot to do in GTA Online these days. Let me know in the comments if you're somebody that was broke, doing this as your, startup. If you're somebody that did this with a bunch of friends just because you guys like to do the content too. Or if you're just somebody that does sumo all day long. Let me know why you think so highly of sumo and why you can't just stop. Anywho though, I think that's it for this video. Later, dog.